The first thing that I did today was to get out the extendable ladder and get myself up into the loft, because I am bringing down several pieces from the exhibition which was held in Carnarvon, the one which recently ended, my first exhibition this year, the one based on farming and agriculture. The reason why is that that exhibition has another location where the same project, the same work will be shown. And that's something I'm preparing for at the moment. I'm making a couple of pieces that may be exhibited there as well, but I want some of the pieces from the loft in storage to come down and feature in that exhibition. I am in the process of downloading videos which I send to myself from my phone, like this type of video which I will send to myself and then download, because my phone's Android, my computer's an iMac. So whilst that's happening, I also have things that I need to respond to. So I'm making this video to show you me doing emails. Let's see how cinematic this is, because I need to respond to certain messages which I have neglected recently. Let's see. Animation project. Okay, and I love the idea and would be happy to contribute. Okay, send, done. Part 1 done. It's going to make a folder called portfolio, even though it's not a portfolio. It's just kind of some images that I'm going to use to promote myself and my work. Let's see, what do we have? Yep, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use those. Okay, fine. That's what I'm using. I need to find the email address. Okay. The other thing that I need is pictures of my other two pieces. Let's see if I've got them here. What am I talking about here? What am I doing? Okay, plan B. Go and photograph them now. That's what I'm going to have to do. Onto the drawing. Last night I started watching a film, a horror film, because I thought it's getting towards Halloween now. I need to start watching some kind of spooky stuff and creating some images that may be a reference to something which is of the season. Inktober, Halloween, it makes sense. Some people spend the whole month doing pumpkins and werewolves and vampires and things. So I thought I'll watch a film that's a horror film, one which I've not seen before. I wasn't going to do it as well. I was going to skip out and watch things that I wanted to watch. Instead, I wanted to watch Deadwood, to be honest, because I've already seen Deadwood. I wanted to watch it again and draw cowboys. I'm not into cowboys, but I love Deadwood. Anyway, the point being, I ended up watching a horror film. It's called Piggy. It is a Spanish film from 2022, and I didn't think it was very good. It got a good review on a channel which I watch for film reviews, but that can happen where the reviewers just disagree and they said, oh, it's a great film. I thought it had problems. Regardless, it was the horror film that I watched, so I got a freeze frame from the film and drew that image. It's not picture perfect, but this is not the type of channel to do photorealism. It was more of an inspiration, just to kind of say, let's get the ball rolling into horror for potentially for the rest of the month, even though I think I'm going to do a texture page for one day. I'm going to do a drawing with my left hand for another day, and I might do a drawing from imagination for another day. So that's three days where I might not do horror images. But otherwise, I'll do lots and lots of horror images for the remainder of the month. Long explanation for what you're about to see, which is the drawing which I produced. So here it is. I decided to do this image with my calligraphy brush pen. Now, I must admit it's not an official calligraphy brush pen, but that's what the set was called, and I quite like the set for drawing and doodling with. They are fun and playful, but they're more like, the nibs are almost like felty nibs. They're not actually bristles of brushes, which is what I would consider to be a calligraphy brush pen. Anyway, that's just a disclaimer because I like using these pens. I think they're really good and fun, and I like the ink because it's similar to Indian ink where it's black, but if you don't do several layers, it dries to a kind of almost a dark grey. So it gives you the opportunity of doing a darker layer inside of the first coat of black. For the image, I just went straight in. I just thought I'll quickly box off the shapes and try to get it in there. And it's slightly proportionally off, I must confess. Her head is smaller in my drawing than it is in the reference image, but not by a huge amount, but it does bother me a little bit doing that because I was trying to get the size of her because she had this powerful look and walk at the end of it because of her stature and because she's obviously coated in blood at the end of the film. There were parts of this film, I know I was moaning at the beginning, there were parts that I liked, and the parts that I really liked was the main actress in the film. She was really good. Now, the reason why the film may have been less enjoyable for me, or more in a way, depending on how you look at it, is because I watched an English dub of a Spanish film, and the dubbing was terrible. So it made it humorous in a way, but it was really flat, the delivery, which some of the actors gave. But aside from that, my gripes with the film were based on logical inconsistencies and things which I just feel they just didn't really do it for me. There were things which I find to be a kind of issues in a film, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying don't watch it. You may watch and enjoy the film. If you like horror and, you know, kind of slasher type of things, this is a mild slasher in my opinion. It's not really especially graphic, and it's got a bullying element and a serial killer element. So there we go. If that appeals to you, go for it. I don't really dislike the film. I just didn't think it was up to par for what I was hoping for before watching it. Anyway, the rest of the films that I'm going to be watching are mostly going to be ones that I've seen already, I think. But I may watch soon a film called Possession, and that film is one which I haven't seen and I'm looking forward to. But I think for the next few days are going to be films that I've seen before, films that I'm a huge fan of. Alien, The Thing, and American Werewolf in London. I love those films, so those are films that I'm going to watch and draw an image from each of them, and then from that point on I will see what films pop out at me. There may be horror films that I've never seen that I watch, or I may just completely shift genre into something else. I might get a little bit bored of horror, even though I do like horror films. I might go to kids' horror films, kind of like a Nightmare Before Christmas type of thing, which I love. Who knows? But I did enjoy drawing this and trying to figure out how to render blood in black and white. So that was quite a nice, fun little challenge. And then doing the grayscale at the end, which was fun.